Welcome to the big picture. We got our lovely OSU cowboy hat here from the Steer Show. Thank you to the OSU Alumni Association, by the way, for this. But this is in honor of fall camp. That's why we're going to leave it right here.
Right, because fall camp kicked off yesterday. It continues all the way through Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little more background on especially those new Buckeyes, 51 of them.
Yes, yeah, 51 new faces. It's Adam and Nicole are going to be joining us later in the show to talk more about that. But thank you guys for joining us today on this Friday. It's a little groggy, rainy kind of day out there.
Yeah,
I don't really
some of you probably got woken
but
up to those downpours because they were intense.
I know. We could hear them again.
Yeah, they were so
Why
loud.
can we hear everything in Studio A when it rains like that? Are the ceilings thin? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, well, let's get to our headlines that we're going to cover today in our show. The tax-free holiday, that is starting today.
Right. And then we got new numbers from on Cyclospora from the Ohio Department of Health. Also, as we mentioned, OSU Fall Camp continues. So Adam and Nicole join us around 9:50 this morning to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and the Beaver battle continues between Buc-ee's in Huber Heights and the Beaver Mini Mart in Beaver Creek, Ohio, which Beaver Creek, Ohio, I looked it up. It's been a city since like 1803.
Yeah, a little before Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
And now the Huber Heights mayor is getting involved in this, really kind of he's sticking up for Buc-ee's. You've got all of these businesses behind the Beaver Mini Mart. It's turning into this whole to-do.
We have a copyright and IP attorney coming on to just talk about the legality behind all of this. And honestly, if Mini Mart has a chance up against these big guys, that's a big corporation.
And now that all of these other people have piled in, throwing beavers into their logos, we know, as we talked yesterday, Buc-ee's is very litigious.
Yes.
They love a lawsuit. How far are they willing to take this?
Right, exactly. So. And people are standing up for the Mini Mart, I'll tell you that much. Okay, let's get to one of our favorite topics, Cyclospora. We're talking about it again, not woo.
Not woo.
The Ohio Department of Health, they just released new numbers that came out yesterday. Nearly 4,000 cases in the entire state of Ohio. We're still not as high as Michigan. They're seeing the highest number of cases, but this outbreak has now spread to 15 states across the country. So it seems to be growing. Again, Ohio's reporting nearly 4,000 cases. It's kind of hard to detect. I know we've talked to doctors about this because you have to go get it tested.
And it's
your
also
stool sample.
So hard to track because it takes like a week or more for symptoms to start appearing. So do you remember what you ate last Friday?
No.
I don't either.
I'm really trying to think.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No idea. Out the window. Over there.
So that's what makes it so hard. Is like no one. I mean, some people obviously keep like a food diary, but a lot of people don't.
Who keeps a food diary?
Not me.
Not me.
But
not this girl.
It's gotten to the degree that now the CDC is in town.
Right. They're trying. So the CDC is now assisting the Ohio Department of Health, and the director of ODH, Bruce Vanderhoff. This is because he says it's because the CDC has officers that basically interview people that have contracted the parasite. And they're really trying to figure out where the outbreak is coming from. We do know that the FDA said it's from shredded iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
But they are still looking into other sources. So by doing and conducting these interviews, it really helps ODH try to narrow down where maybe this is coming from because they still don't have a lot of clarity on that.
Right.
This is what he had to say about it.
We recently requested and received assistance from the CDC through their EpiAid program and are currently hosting several Epidemic Intelligence Service officers who are assisting with our investigation efforts.
Yep. So they're trying to help track down where exactly all of this is coming from.
Yeah. And there's been so much back and forth because obviously, remember at the beginning of this, they're like, it is this lettuce from Taylor Farms
in Mexico.
And then that all got recalled. And then
it's still
all of a sudden it wasn't from Taylor Farms.
Right.
And then the FDA is like, but maybe.
Yeah.
It's this so back and forth of we don't know.
Right. So these interviews are hopefully going to bring more clarity to that. It's not like contact tracing, but in a way, it kind of is, so they can get down to the bottom of it.
And that's not the only outbreak we've got to worry about.
The only one, salmonella. So I'm going to pull up the CDC website right now. The good news regarding this is that the case number hasn't changed since yesterday. So there's 345 cases across the country right now, 36 hospitalizations still. That number hasn't changed. and this is spreading between 27 states, Ohio included. So the numbers are kind of staying stagnant, which is positive for now. But again, another foodborne
and as we talked yesterday, like this is all, this one's related to jalapenos. We know this one's related to jalapenos.
Right.
The question about this one is, did any of these jalapenos make it to the grocery store? Because they've been able to track it to at least jalapenos used in like food service. So like
Chipotle,
Qdoba,
they removed
and they've already pulled them. But the general advice right now is if you have, jalapenos at home, toss them out.
Toss them away.
It's not worth the risk. Salmonella is not something to mess around with.
No, you can get symptoms like early as 1 day or even as late as 6 days, and you can have stomach issues. I mean, diarrhea, vomiting, runs a whole gamut. It's not fun. And both of these too, salmonella, cyclosporiasis, it can lead to extreme dehydration. And that's ultimately what killed the 2 people from cyclospora in Michigan. They had underlying health conditions, but it was the dehydration from it. So,
and that's what we've heard time and time again from the doctors that we've talked to on this program, is that if you have this, like, you just got to keep your fluids up. Like, you've got to really focus on doing that. And as we mentioned, do not follow the TikTok trend of Cyclospora skinny. It's 1, unsafe.
Yes.
And 2, not a good idea.
And I can't.
And it's
no comment.
Right. And the doctor, once again, the doctor that we talked to said, what you're losing is water weight, because what your body is flushing out fluids. And that comes back once it's back.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, that never works out.
You're basically just dehydrating yourself and causing all sorts of extra strain on organs.
Keep washing your fruits and veggies, all your produce. If you have jalapenos in your refrigerator, throw them away. And I've been trying to get creative in the kitchen by cooking more of my vegetables and stuff like that, because I'm normally just like a salad person. I eat salads all the time. Yeah. But I've been laying off the salads because of all this.
I love a Caesar salad, and that's one of those hard things. It's like,
I know,
is it worth the risk? Probably.
I've had salads since this outbreak has started, but I'm really trying to be cautious.
Yeah.
So
cook your veggies.
Be safe, guys. Alrighty. Well, let's get a look at the weekend forecast, because like we said, we could hear the rain coming down. Joining us, we have Lily Aldridge. We're getting her microphone set up right now. But this is a look at your 7-day forecast. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a rainy weekend, which isn't going to be totally fun for us. But yeah, joining us right now, Lily.
It's the final days of the fair.
Hey, Lily.
I know. And thankfully, it's not an entire washout. So it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We were tracking a lot of rain and showers this morning. Thankfully, we'll see a little bit of dry time by the time we get into lunch, 11, 12-ish. We're seeing you're probably about to hear it again in the studio within the next 20 minutes. It's about to rain again.
Right. Really? And these have been some, you kind of alluded to, they've been short bursts, but they are a lot all at once.
It's a lot of rain all at once. Yeah, big downpours. And that's kind of the most damaging kinds of storms, honestly. It gives really big wind gust, really big rain, everything all at once. It creates flooding, and that's how traffic issues occur. Like, there's a lot of things going on into this, what we saw this morning.
And remember that hailstorm we got a couple months ago in the summer, how crazy it was? It ruined my parents' roof, and they were supposed to have their roof replaced and fixed today, but because of all this rain, they're having to move it to Monday.
Well,
so a little inconvenient. But
thankfully, Monday looks pretty good.
Yeah, but I do feel like, flowers need it.
Right.
We
need
the water.
Sunday's gonna be pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, the best day to definitely get out to the fair. I know it's the last day, but it looks dry at least. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s by the time we get into Sunday. Nice conditions, and then Monday we kind of get back into what August normally is in Central Ohio. Temperatures in the mid 80s, and then rain in the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Lily, thank you. We appreciate it. Okay. Well, coming up, we were talking about the tax-free holiday. As so many kids are getting ready to go back to school, we actually have the Ohio Department of Taxation joining us to talk about some of the changes to the savings this year.
And how you can still save.
Yeah. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
All right, it is 9/11 on your Friday. Welcome back. I'm Collin. She's Bryn. We are talking Ohio sales tax holiday. It kicks off today
Yes.
runs through Sunday. It's a little different than years past. There are
is.
some exemptions.
Absolutely. So, a lot of you guys are getting ready to take the kids back to school. Right. They need shoes, school supplies, things like that. But they're having some changes to certain items and what the exemption applies to.
Right, because used to it was just about everything under $500.
Right. So now it's clothing priced at $75 or less is a tax exemption. School supplies priced at $20 or less, and then school instructional materials priced at $20 or less. So our reporter, Amy Steigerwald, she was out at Myers today. She was up at the Myers at Polaris, right?
Yep.
Up in Polaris, and she was looking at prices of backpacks, kind of comparing to see what families can save.
Right, because
this
some
year.
retailers are marking down the price to get below that threshold.
Right, exactly.
I made my photographer, Tyler, and we went around the whole section. I put him to work this morning other than just holding the camera here. And we looked at all the prices to see if they were under that $20 category, which is what you need in order to qualify for the tax-free holiday this weekend. School supplies under $20, clothing under $75. So we've got this backpack here. And you can see normally it is priced at $24.99, but many stores are stacking on other savings on top of it. I had to use a calculator. I wasn't about to do this math live on air because I am not good at math. 20% off of $24.99 does put it under that $20 category. So you can stack on many of those savings throughout the weekend. We've got our friend Matt here from Meijer. You guys have been traditionally, you say this is kind of a busy time for you. Sure. Obviously, the tax-free holiday looks a little different this year, but you're still expecting to see some shoppers.
Yeah, so customers certainly want to take advantage of the tax-free savings that they get. Like you mentioned, items under $20 for back-to-school supplies, $75 for apparel, and then of course we've got all the food items that we've got for make it a one-stop convenient shop for our customers.
Is there a certain item that you guys find parents really take advantage of throughout this tax-free weekend?
For sure, shoes are always a big draw. Everybody needs shoes to go back to school,
yeah.
So you gotta have the coolest shoes
and
in
I
class.
love shoes, so that tracks. And you guys also do something for teachers.
Yeah, so we have 15% off teachers discount. They just need to bring in their school ID up to our service desk. We can give them a coupon. We can do that as many times as they need throughout the school year.
Definitely want to snag that if you're a teacher. Thanks so much for joining us this
Sure,
morning. Again, we do have more listed about the tax-free weekend at 10tv.com. Many stores are doing things like that. So they're trying to stack on different savings, whether it be for school supplies or those other items that we mentioned. So be sure to take advantage of that. Again, it runs through Sunday. We have more at 10tv.com. I'm going to send things back to you.
All right, so that being said, if you still have questions, to answer those questions for you, we bring in Tim Lynch from the Department of Taxation. Tim, thanks so much for coming in. Big weekend for this. Obviously, there are some changes this year. Why are these changes, why were these changes made? Why aren't they the same 2 weeks that we had in previous years?
Yeah, so a little different this year than the past 2 years. The sales tax holiday started in 2015 as the back-to-school sales tax holiday that we have this year. The General Assembly in 2023 passed legislation to have an expanded sales tax holiday for 2 years, which we had the last 2 years. And it reverted now back to the normal back-to-school sales tax holiday for this summer, which is, as you said earlier, $75. Items of clothing, $75 or less. School instructional materials, $20 or less. And school supplies, markers, notepads, pens, pencils, those types of things, $20 or less.
So our reporter, Amy, she was looking at the prices of backpacks, $24.99. Some of these items do go above that threshold of $20, and some stores like Meijer are trying to add on other savings so these families can, get the tax exemption. What are some of the misconceptions that you're seeing from parents and shoppers about this holiday this year?
I think the main one is people think that it is only at our brick and mortar stores. So if you prefer to go in, see the merchandise and purchase it there, take your kids, make an event of it, that's great. And that's great for businesses surrounding those places selling school supplies and clothing. But if you prefer to shop from your kitchen table or the comfort of your couch in your living room, you can also do that. It is past 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. on the West Coast because it is dependent upon the time of the retailer if you are purchasing online, but I think we're past 3 a.m. Eastern time where it would be midnight out on the West Coast if you were buying from a retailer out there.
Right, and sales is being a sales tax exemption. This is taken off at the register, not something that you got to keep all the receipts and then do in your taxes at the end of the year, right?
That is correct, yeah. The retailer's point of sale system should have that programmed already. If you believe you were charged sales tax on something that should have been exempt, you can go onto our website, tax.ohio.gov. We have sales tax holiday featured prominently at the top of our page on our banner. Any questions you can see there, or if you think, like I said, you were charged mistakenly, you can go and request a refund from the state there.
And for the families that are trying to really stretch their dollars this year, what kind of advice do you have for them before they head out shopping?
I shy away from giving the advice on that, but, I would say, as the clip that played earlier, you should look and find retailers that are having sales, and on top of the sales, you will have, you will be exempt from sales tax. We're sitting here in Franklin County, so there's an 8% sales tax rate, and the Ohio Council of Retail Merchants had put out some data showing that families on average spend $900 a child for students between kindergarten and 12th grade each year. So if you round that up to $1,000, you're looking at saving $80 right off the top just on sales tax before you factor in any sales that retailers may be having at this weekend.
And for example, when it comes to that, like for school supplies, the $20 limit, is it $20 everything combined, or is it $20 per item?
That's a great question. It is per item. So total doesn't matter as long as each individual item is under that $20 for school supplies, or $75, clothing if you're buying new shoes, shirts, pants, any of that.
Okay, so
yeah, that's great to clarify.
Right, if families are shopping for multiple kids, you can buy 4 $20 backpacks, and they are all
correct.
Okay, awesome. And so this year, laptops and other electronics are not included this year, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Why
I don't know if you're going to find a
Yeah.
laptop for under $20.
I know.
Or if you want to buy one if you did.
But I felt it wasn't there. I mean, it was like $500 or less, right? That it was excluded.
Yeah, with the expanded sales tax holiday the last 2 years, it was pretty much all items $500 or less, outside of cars, alcohol, tobacco, those types of items. But we're back to the normal, back to school sales tax holiday this year. However, in June, a month and a half ago, the legislature did pass legislation to bring the expanded sales tax holiday back next summer, August of 2027.
Okay. And when it comes to using coupons, different perks, discounts that could drop obviously we saw that Meijer's, reducing those prices, but if you're using a coupon to drag that down and you get it below, does that still count? Like, will the point of sale know how to do that, or is that something that you might have to push further?
It should. Hoping that our retailers, they know how to program their point of sale systems. It should. If there is any question, like I said, your viewers and listeners should go tax.ohio.gov. We have a great FAQ that lays everything out, easy to understand for everyone. But yes, to answer your question directly, yes, it should be exempt.
Okay, and for anyone planning to shop this weekend, what are the 3 biggest things you want them to consider?
3 biggest things. I mean, have your child's school supply list ready. Stick to a budget, create a budget, stick to it. And then, when you save that money, you've got a little extra money in your pocket to maybe do something else with the kids on the weekend, have some fun.
All right.
Awesome.
Tim Lynch from the Ohio Department of Taxation, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up next, the Buc-ee's and Beaver Mini Mart beef continues. We're bringing in a global trademark and copyright strategist attorney to talk to us about the legality of this drama and is there any chance in this fight? That's next.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. My goal is simple, help you feel informed and connected. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning. Weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. I'm Collin. She's Bryn. We
Hello.
are talking about really the controversy of the state.
Yeah, this is really gaining traction.
It's a good way to put it, I suppose. But we've talked about this. The lawsuit filed by Buc-ee's. Their logo is on the left there. The Beaver against Beaver's Mini Mart.
Yep, in
a
Beaver
small
Creek, Ohio.
corner store in Beaver Creek, Ohio. So the first Buc-ee's opened up back in April in Huber Heights, which is about 15 miles north.
And it was a big deal. I mean, normally Buc-ee's are in Texas and in southern states, so it's making its way up to the north.
So the lawsuit is alleging that Beaver's Mini Mart could potentially cause confusion of people trying to find Buc-ee's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. You know, that is their fight on that one. So the other thing is Beaver's Mini Mart is not on the highway. It's tucked back into a neighborhood there in Beaver Creek, Ohio. If you've been to Beaver Creek, they are
right.
It's very Beaver oriented.
Yeah,
they
that's their
are leaning into
mascot.
It.
It's
Right,
their
the
high
school or the
school,
Beavers, and you know. That all to be said, this lawsuit has really blown up. We've talked about how litigious Buc-ee's can be. They've sued a lot of different places. They sued, I think it's Mickey's. They have a moose logo up in northern Ohio.
Right.
Sued them. They've filed lawsuits in Georgia, Oklahoma, various other states against retailers that are also using animal logos. But as we know, Dayton, this might offend people in Dayton. But
what are you about to say?
Dayton, unfortunately, gets a little overshadowed by Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Columbus.
100%.
They are the other, kind of the other one out there. But that being said, they love a scrappy underdog story.
Yeah, they do.
So they have come out swinging on this one. And businesses all around the Dayton area, now at this point, all around the state, have stepped up to kind of support this corner store.
Right. And even businesses here in Columbus, this cookie you're looking at on the right side of your screen, that's from the Goodie Shop in
Upper Arlington. Yeah. And then that is a bookstore in the Dayton area. The Rabbit Hole Books threw a beaver into their logo and a Facebook post that said, Buc-ee's come and take it. So people are fighting it.
That is so funny. And our Carla Rogner, she went to the Goodie Shop in UA, and she actually spoke to them about why they're behind all of this. Take a listen.
Nearly every box on this shelf is for an order of the Beaver cookies. This small business is happy to show the support to another small business just an hour down the road. Bakery staff at the original Goodie Shop have been busy beavers in the last 24 hours, cranking out hundreds of cookies with the logo for Beaver's Mini Mart in Beaver Creek, Ohio. The small business is facing a lawsuit from Buc-ee's, which just moved into the Dayton area this year. The Goodie Shop is one of many small businesses rallying behind the Mini Mart to help them keep their logo of a smiling beaver. $1 from every cookie sold will go to support their legal fund.
I wanted to do it because the idea of a huge corporation like Buc-ee's suing a small business, it really bothered me, and I wanted to support them in any way I could without having to drive to Beaver Creek today.
I hope that Buc-ee's sees the support for the small business and backs down and lets them just do their thing.
These cookies have been flying off the shelf. They've already sold hundreds of Beaver cookies. They plan to keep making more to continue showing support. Reporting in Upper Arlington, Carla Rogner, 10 TV News.
All right, Carla, thank you for that. That was a fun assignment she had yesterday.
Right. And I mean, we've seen
a sweet one.
Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose add a beaver into his logo. And everybody's kind of doing this to kind of poke the bear a little bit to see, like, how are you going to sue all of us?
Right.
So now the Huber Heights mayor has gotten involved in this.
What did he say?
So the Huber Heights mayor posted to Facebook last night, actually around midnight, that he talked with Arch Applin, the CEO and president of Buc-ee's. Like, this guy called him to fill in their side of the story. So according to Applin, Vic, I can't remember his last name, is the owner. So basically the owner of Beaver's Mini Mart filed a trademark lawsuit to trademark Beaver Mart across the country. That's what Buc-ee's allegedly is taking umbrage with, is this trademark lawsuit. It would give him access to, like, the Beaver Mart name all across the country. This was, according to the president of Buc-ee's, the owners of Beaver Mart Beaver's Mini Mart filed this just after the announcement that Buc-ee's was coming to Huber Heights. The mayor of Huber Heights has not spoken to the owner of Beaver's Mini Mart.
Yeah.
Only to the owners of Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's owner says they're willing to drop the lawsuit if the owners of Beaver's Mini Mart no longer pursue a trademark. They're wading into this, and, you know, basically the comment section of this is everybody just being like,
Mini Mart was here first.
Right.
Like,
people
basically.
are like, yeah, and it's like, they're like, it's the Huber Heights mayor standing up for this business that moved in.
even Governor DeWine made a comment about it. He's
Right,
like,
Governor
we're
Wine was
talking
like-
about, this is in the city of Beaver Creek.
Right.
There's
Governor Wine
beavers.
was like, drop it.
I know.
So it's now we've got all of these entities involved in this. Yeah, like one of the comments on Mayor Jeff Gore's post, who is the mayor of Huber Heights, was, I find it interesting that you address the owner of the large corporation as Mr., but you address the owner of a small business as a common person. I'm not making accusations. People got heated in this. And like I said, this was posted at midnight.
Yeah.
And so people were up in the middle of the night fighting about this lawsuit.
Right. And we actually have an attorney joining us to discuss about the litigious nature
The litigious
nature
background
of Buc-ee's and kind of if, I mean, Mini Mart has a chance. I know there was like a GoFundMe that apparently is money's being raised for Mini Mart, but we're having some technical problems. So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna see if we can get him in. All right, we'll be right back.
I'm Bryn traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, anywhere you watch.
All right, welcome back. On the phone, we have Tom Adams. He is the brand and IP attorney with Voorhees. He's who we were teasing to discuss about the legality of this Buc-ee's versus Beaver Mini Mart in Beaver Creek. He was formerly the general counsel at Procter & Gamble and led the global trademark and copyright strategy mission for them. So thank you for joining us via the phone. I'm sad we couldn't make the video work, but this is going to work great.
So it may be better for your viewers.
So Tom, looking at this in the whole, we know that Buc-ee's has a history of pursuing lawsuits against smaller retailers that oftentimes use cartoon animals. Why would a company pursue stores like this?
A lot of this actually comes right back to what a trademark actually is. So in the United States in particular, trademarks are at their core all about reputation. They are a consumer protection creature. And what a trademark really is if you look at whether it's a name or a symbol or a logo, something that tells consumers one company stands behind these goods or services and helps you know who stands behind those products. So unlike those other types of intellectual property, patents and copyrights, trademarks don't really allow for selective enforcement. So the owners of trademarks have to police the marketplace and go after things that might be infringements. And if you think about it, that really comes down to if multiple entities started using something that was identical or very close, it would stop functioning as a trademark altogether, right? It would no longer tell consumers, hey, one company stands behind this. It becomes what we call the generic name for goods. So that's sort of what goes into companies are thinking. But and you're probably getting it, there's always balance in my mindset, right? Because it is about reputation, you balance the legal needs with the reputational effect of going to enforce trademarks. And that can be tricky, and it depends on the facts. There can be good ways to do that. Sometimes I've had clients that have a junior user that's infringing their trademark, but maybe it's a charity, and there can be ways to help them move and migrate to a new name. And also the other reason you might enforce is there can be value in having a reputation as a vigilant enforcer. So all of that goes into the mix, and it can be a tough decision for the mark owner and their legal counsel.
And so can you explain some other cases where Buc-ee's has sued and won?
Yeah, they've had a number. And by the way, this case, it's interesting. A lot of the media attention and the social media attention seems to be around the cartoon logo. But the other thing that's interesting I saw in the pleadings, it's not emphasized, is that the Buc-ee's of Texas has a registration of the name Beavers for mini marts. And it may be that, if you look at that, there may be some questions of, hey, have they properly used that, and how far back do their rights go in Beavers? But this may have been something where they were balancing Beavers plus the logo and deciding what to do there. But in other cases, everything from outright counterfeits, people selling Buc-ee's stickers, to other names that are similar. Some things they've gone after, Duckies and Barkies. And then there are a number of these cases that involve sort of anthropomorphic, characters, animal mascots, often in circles or maybe wearing hats. Most of these things have settled, or they've been decided on what are called consent judgments or consent decrees, which are basically the parties also agreeing to settle. The only one I know about that went further than that, they had a dispute with a company called Choke Canyon that had an alligator logo in a circle on some filling stations. And Buc-ee's actually won with the jury on liability, but the case settled before damages were decided in a different phase. And I think there are a lot of Buc-ee's fans in that case, and this sort of goes to, my theory of trademark cases are, you hear sometimes that, there are only 7 plots. I think in trademark disputes, there are only 2. Either the judge or the jury, as the case may be, decides, are you a good, fair American competitor, or are you a dirty homework copying cheat? And that often dictates how the case comes out.
And we've also seen in the past couple days a number of businesses as kind of a pushback to this based off on the business owners who feel this is a bullying action by a larger company have thrown cartoon beavers into their logos. What is the challenge? What is the possibility that Buc-ee's decides to pursue some of these other actors, not just this mini mart owner? Or are they going, or is the opportunity for that basically nil?
No, I think it's a good question, and I think it depends what the other uses are. Again, some of that may go into tactics and strategy of what's the public relations play. But from a legal standpoint, really with what people look at are consumers likely to be confused? Would they think that one of these other uses has something to do with Buc-ee's? Was it authorized by them or licensed by them or in some way related? And I think, and the answer to that is often subjective, and courts will look at, and so will lawyers that are considering these cases, different factors. How close are the marks? How close are the goods and services? What are the interactions in the marketplace? How do consumers perceive those? And when you get to trial, sometimes you actually hire sophisticated consumer survey experts to try to help determine this. So I suppose if you're using, Beaver on, rocket motors, it might be a tougher case than if you were using it on, something closer to what Buc-ee's is doing.
And so local groups are raising money. How much could this cost Beaver's Mini Mart realistically?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a decent amount. As I say, a lot of the preparation for these types of trials can involve hiring these expensive survey experts. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of studying in the marketplace. It really can range. Things that often, as we were just talking about, these things often settle, but even sort of initial preparation of a case like this, it's probably at least 10 or 20,000 with most typical law firm, attorney fees to go all the way to trial, and many of these don't, but you're looking at a range, probably between a couple, $200,000-$300,000 to $1 million. I've seen some trademark cases where attorney's fees are over $3 million.
And kind of one final thing before you go, it's important to note that Buc-ee's is not the only company that is very protective of their intellectual property, their IP. We know that Disney is incredibly protective of the mouse. We know Disney is quick, and Nintendo is the same way. Nintendo is very protective of its property. Is there anything else you'd care to add about these cases going forward?
Oh, I don't know in the general sense of, I think that consumers, and I'm a trademark guy, but I think consumers benefit from the trademark structure in America. It is important to be able to distinguish who stands behind goods or services. It protects consumers from counterfeits or making mistakes where they make a purchase from the wrong company. But this is this has gotten people talking about the other aspect of it, which is where does the overreach come into play? And it is very factually driven. I think that there are cases, and I'm not saying this is necessarily one, but where companies with trademarks, they're really not trying to fight consumer confusion or someone infringing upon their trademark. Really, they're trying to protect a business model or a marketing idea, which the law will not protect in that way. So it often comes down to the facts, and it requires sort of careful study to sort that out.
All right, Tom, thank you so much for joining us via the phone today. We really, really appreciate it.
All right, that was Tom Adams, the brand and IP attorney with Voorhees. Coming up next, we are continuing to follow that case out of Vinton County. Attorney General A.G. Wilson is responding to these gag orders, which are calling his comments hyperbolic.
Not every weather impact day is dangerous, but plenty are inconvenient. That's where our weather impact team comes in with the details that matter the most. Live, local, whenever you need it. No waiting, no guesswork. Stay in the know and be prepared with 10 TV.
Welcome back to Big Picture. That was a very interesting question about the legality behind the Buc-ee's versus Beaver Mini Mart. I felt like an octopus holding all those things there, but I'm glad it worked out. Okay, so we are switching, I don't like saying this, switching gears, but we are transitioning into Vinton County. So Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson, he is responding to a gag order in Vinton County, and this is more than a month after those 16 children were found in that house on Omer Street.
Right, because there's multiple gag orders now filed. And all of them point to the commentary made by authorities in the immediate days after this.
Right. We know he, quote, said pure evil. That's how he described the situation.
And that was the day of.
That was the day of. So, I mean, emotions, I think, were very high. We're going to play what he originally said that day.
This is pure evil. What we saw down here today is pure evil.
And so Dorian Baum, who is the attorney for Gary Siders Sr., said this: because of the exaggerations and hyperbolic lies perpetrated by the Attorney General at his initial news conference, the Siders family and their extended family have all received threats of violence, including death threats from various corners of the internet for a case that in no way deserved this sort of attention or anger based on the facts as I've seen them, end quote. That is a quote from Dorian Baum, the attorney for Gary Siders Sr.
Right. And A.G. Wilson, he responded to this. We caught up with him, and this is what he had to say about it all.
They should be thankful that we helped actually shape the narrative with respect to what it really was. Otherwise, the community, the internet, would be calling them devil worshippers, child traffickers, like all of these theories and myths of what it isn't. They'd be fighting through all of that. So what we did is very responsibly, we set the narrative for what we had down there.
And so these comments from A.G. Wilson, this has now been more than a month since these 16 children were found, discovered inside this house.
Living with these 4 adults.
So these 4 adults, Gary Siders Sr., Christina Siders, Gary Siders Jr., and Elizabeth Siders, are now facing 16 charges of child endangerment. We still haven't gotten a grand jury indictment.
No, they have not been indicted yet. We know Vinton County, from our research, it takes a while down there for that to happen. But yeah, they have not been indicted yet. So we will obviously keep following this story. We actually have 2 specials out right now.
The Hidden Children on Omer Street. Those are both on 10 TV.
On YouTube and on our app.
10 TV Plus, the 10 TV app. Also, you can listen to them wherever you get your podcasts. Those are dropped as specials under the Big Picture.
Yeah. Okay.
They should be thankful.
I was trying to do the news stinger. I'm going to give it one more shot.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Thankful
there
that
we
we
go.
helped actually shape the narrative.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done with clicking things today, Collin. It's been a day. Okay. We don't have Adam and Nicole yet.
Okay, so we're
going to talk about Summerween.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something fun. So basically, Summerween is this term now because if you've been into any stores recently, Michael's, I mean like Kroger, Home Goods.
Right.
All the Halloween decorations are already out already.
If you go to Hobby Lobby, Christmas is already out.
I know. I love it. I can't get enough of it, Collin. Right. What do you think?
So, craft stores make sense to me because for crafters who go to craft fairs and stuff, it takes them this long to get everything made
Yeah.
by October. But as for like decor, like home goods, it's early.
It is early. So new data from Michaels revealed that searches for the term Summerween are up 530% from this year, from last year. So a lot of people are kind of joining the bandwagon when it comes to starting Halloween early.
I mean, you said that you throw everything out September 1st.
I know, and I've succumbed to the Summerween. I've already purchased some Halloween stuff.
See,
for sure.
I'm a strict calendar follower. Like Halloween stuff only comes out October, and then because like the fall stuff goes away, then it comes back in November, and then Christmas is only out during
after. Are you an after Thanksgiving Christmas person?
I wait until Advent starts. Like
Okay.
I am very much a like.
Okay. Yeah. What is that? What is that? Advent, like December 1st?
Yeah, it's the weeks leading. It's the 24 days.
Right, the December 1st.
Advent,
yeah.
And then you can leave it up for the 12 days of Christmas following. So I'm a strict.
Okay, you love your calendar
follower.
I'm the polar opposite. That's why we work. No. Growing up, my parents did that. They were always like very strict like that. But I just love the holidays so much. Like I love the fall, and I'm like, October just isn't long enough for my Halloween directions. I need two months of that, and I need 2 months of Christmas. So when September 1st comes around, I'm busting them out.
Yeah, leave your Christmas tree up until February.
No. It's no. You have to take your Christmas tree down.
January 6th.
No, before the new year, or it's bad luck. You have bad luck for the whole year.
But that's not the full 12 days of Christmas.
Doesn't matter. Take your trees down. You got to get it out. Okay. There's our little Summerween fun.
Interesting.
Okay, we have Adam and Nicole now. I actually see them.
Okay.
What's up, guys?
Hello. Hi. I'm so sorry. It's pouring rain, and there was a rain plan, so it's good though.
Been a different kind of day.
We have been on the fly all yes. It's been a Friday, but we're happy you guys are with us now. So what's happening day 2 of training camp?
Well, if you want to see out here, yesterday we showed you how beautiful it was. Today, not so much. They have moved training camp inside for the day with all the fans. It's a lot on just one field. Typically, they practice on 2 to 3 fields, so it's all congested in there.
We did get to see just now, though, just quarterbacks throwing to the receivers. I feel like when you're inside the Woody, you get a little more, you get up close action, which is nice for us. We get some good videos, so the fans are up close getting to watch too. So it's good, guys. Day 2, we're here.
So, I mean, they could practice outside. You got to play in the rain sometimes.
Yeah. What the heck?
Well, the concern was lightning. That was the concern.
Okay.
That's why they moved inside. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'd rather be standing indoors than standing out in this pouring rain. So you know what? I'm okay
For you
with
guys,
it.
we don't need to run up Adam's
much
dry
nicer.
cleaning bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So we're following up with you guys from yesterday because when we spoke to you yesterday, nothing had really happened. So what were your biggest takeaways from watching camp yesterday? What did you guys learn?
I would say, and I think Adam and I probably agree on this, that we finally got to see some of the running backs like Isaiah West and Bo Jackson really get some action. Isaiah West especially just really shining out there. We didn't get to see them during spring ball because both of them were dealing with some injuries. Of course, Legend Bay, we've talked about it. He was not out there. He is not out here today. He violated a team rule quoted by Ryan Day. So we're not sure when exactly he's going to be back, but he was not out there. So I'd say the running back room in general was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty spot on. I mean, again, we got to see Isaiah West out there as the RB1 today, leading all the drills. So that's something that's absolutely shocking. The running back, or the wide receiver room, was a lot of fun to watch, to kind of see how all those reps break down. We kind of know that Kyle Parker was off to the side a little bit. He was supposed to be, we projected a starter, but it seemed like we got our 3 guys yesterday, which was Devin McHugh, Brandon Ennis, and Jeremiah Smith. But right behind them are all those freshmen that we talked about. So to see it all kind of play out and start to take shape, the offensive line tested some things out. We've made it to camp, and we actually are starting to learn what this Buckeye team's going to look like.
All right. Adam, Nicole, thanks so much. Stay dry.
Yeah, stay safe. Stay out of that lightning, guys.
All right. Catch up with you again probably at the beginning of the week.
I didn't realize it was raining that hard out. I mean, I heard a little bit of it earlier.
Yeah, I guess we're not that far from.
But we always just hear random things in this studio.
That's true. It's
There's
haunted.
a ghost in here. We need a ghost light in this studio, like a theater. You know what I mean? Do you know what that is?
No.
Oh my gosh! In every theater, like the Ohio Theater does it. Like there's a lamp light that you leave in the middle of the stage to keep the
ghosts away.
The ghosts keep them company.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Huh. I'm seeming really spiritual and weird today. What's going on? Too funny. Well, it's National Beer Day.
Woo.
Who likes beer? Not me. I'm not a beer drinker.
I didn't think you'd be a beer drinker.
What is that supposed to mean?
From time to time, you just don't. You give me
What
more
the
wine
heck?
and cocktail.
Okay. Period.
Vibes.
Okay. Shoot.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll drink a beer. It's definitely like a weather dependent drink for me.
Yeah.
Like if it's like a good hot summer day, beer day. We've got all sorts of different breweries here in Columbus. Obviously, we've got the craft beer movement.
Yes.
But then obviously I will drink just a basic Coors or like a Labatt. Yeah. Is Jason a beer drinker?
He likes tequila. He'll drink it. I don't know. He kind of, yeah, I guess. But anyway, if you want to celebrate National Beer Day, which there's probably a lot of beer drinkers here in Columbus, Columbus Brewing Company, their beer hall, they're having an event from 4 to 8. Ooh. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. All day happy hour. Whoop, whoop. So you can go celebrate $4 pints. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they have a trivia night later.
Right.
All about Ohio
beer
history.
Trivia? Oh, it's Ohio history. See, if you'd paid attention on those few times that we brought in the Ohio History Connection, you might have a leg up.
Right, because you can win an annual membership to the Ohio History Connection as well. And there will be living history reenactors there roaming the event.
Fun.
I like
love
that.
a reenactment.
I know. It's so fun to go up and there were some other Civil War reenactors at the Irish Fest last weekend. And it was so fun talking to them about just stuff. They're really interesting people. Fun. Alrighty. So that's basically it. Thanks for bearing with us today on this crazy show.
We may deserve a beer for National Beer Day.
I know. I wish we had one to crack one open.
I know they're over on the fan.
Clock for about an hour and a half longer.
I know radio still has. They have.
Apparently, radio has a stash over there. I guess word on the street.
Oops.
Okay. Well, that does it for us today. Have a great weekend.
Monday.
See you Monday.